The Secretary will read the fourth order.
10 plaaslike regering, Weskaapse begrotingswetsontwerp.
Ek sien minister Bredel, minister van plaaslike regering.
Baie dankie, achtbare Deputy Speaker, achtbare Premier, kabinetcollega's, lede van die parlement, departementshoofde, eregaste, dames en heren. Goeiemiddag en baie dankie vir die geleentheid. Ek wil begin deur die statistiek voor te lees wat handel oor die hantering van die ergste droogte in 400 jaar in die Weskaap. Soos jy bewus sal wees, die Weskaap regering bestry reeds die afgelope 4 jaar hierdie droogte reg oor die hele provinsie. Ek wil graag een hoogtepunt uitlig van die hantering van hierdie ramp. In Februarie 2015 het die stad Kaapstad elke dag 1,2 miljard liter water gebruik. 3 jaar later in 2018 toon die jongste data dat die stad nou 510 miljoen liter water per dag gebruik. Binne 3 jaar het die stad met meer as 4 miljoen inwoners dit reg gekry om watergebruik met meer as die helfte te verminder. Ek wil die publiek, die media, die sakesektor en elke ander instelling en persoon wat al deel bygedra het bedank en gelukwens met hierdie prestasie. In 2015...
Minister, just 1 second. Sorry, is it a point of order?
Yes, Speaker, I want to inform you that there is no English translation.
Yes, I didn't listen to that, but I will follow that up. Can the Sergeant please check on that? Minister, you may proceed.
In 2015 was die gemiddelde huishoudelike gebruik so wat 209 liter per persoon per dag. Vandag is dit minder as 87 liter per dag per persoon. Die situasie is weer 'n bewys van die feit dat Kaapenaars kan saamstaan as dit saak maak. Honourable Deputy Speaker, as leaders of our communities, we have the responsibility to ensure that we make an impact on people's lives. I am proud to say that as the Western Cape Government, we have made strides in improving the living conditions of people of this province. The province continues to be the leader in the country when it comes to access to basic services. This is despite the continued population growth, budget constraints and environmental disasters. My department continues to strengthen its investment in infrastructure. We are at all times mindful of poverty, unemployment and inequalities and the impact it has on our communities, and we seek to continue to redress this situation. When I look back in past year, I am proud to say that my department has introduced a number of programs to enable people to improve their living conditions. These are the building blocks to creating more resilient cities. One of such programs is the department's continuous commitment to strengthening the interface between communities and the municipalities. In collaboration with the Hans Seidel Foundation, the department has embarked on a civic education campaign on public participation. The purpose of this project is to educate and empower citizens with information that would enable them to meaningfully and effectively participate in the affairs of local government. This program is built on the foundation of ensuring resilient communities, in which citizens, civil society and business can partner with government. Achtbare Deputy Speaker, nog 'n inisiatief waarop ek trots is die vertaling van die wijkskomitee handboek na al 3 amptelike tale van die Weskaap, sowel as Braille. Die inisiatief is voortspruitend uit interaksie met wijkskomitees en die gemeenskapslede waar die behoeftes geïdentifiseer is. Die Braille handboek is reeds versprei na alle munisipaliteite in die provinsie met die versoek dat die boeke beskikbaar gestel moet word in alle plaaslike biblioteke en ander openbare ruimtes waar gemeenskaplede vergader. Hierdie vertaling na Braille toe was 'n eerste vir die land. As gevolg van die groot belangstelling van elders in die land, het ons ook besluit om die Braille afskrifte beskikbaar te maak aan ons ander provinsies vir gebruik daar. Deur mense met inligting en kennis te bemagtig is 'n groot stap na die opbou van 'n volhoubare gemeenskap. Deur die departement se toeson en gemeenskapsontwikkelingsprogram het meer as 1,2 miljoen mense in hierdie provinsie toegang tot regeringsdienste en inligting. Daar is nog 'n behoefte om meer te doen om plaaswerkers en plaasbewoners in landelike gebiede te bereik. Die gevolg is die departement, tesame met georganiseerde landbou en munisipaliteite, gaan spesiale toesang uitreike doen aan die deel van die gemeenskap. As deel van die uitbreiding van die toesangprogram as spulpunte vir armoedeverligting, werkskepping en gemeenskapsontwikkeling ondersoek die departement die moontlikheid om toesangsentres te gebruik as implementeerders van kapasiteitsontwikkeling en die ontwikkeling van klein ekonomiese ontwikkelingsprojekte. In die opsig is daar reeds voorlopige sukses behaal met 'n mentorship-program vir 10 jong entrepreneurs in die Grabouw area. Die toesangprogram van die Wes-Kaap word nasionaal geloof as 'n model om na te streef. Ons mik deurlopend om verder te verbeter deur dienslewerinstye uit te brei en meer rolspelers teenwoordig te kry. Vir 'n hersiening van dienste en bedryfsure is reeds voltooi en sal die besluitnemingsproses lei. Honourable Deputy Speaker, an important pillar to building resilient communities is municipalities' embodied good governance. My department's role in this regard is to exercise oversight, support, and strengthen the capacity of municipality to execute their mandates. We conduct extensive training with councillors and municipal officials on various initiatives in order to maintain effective governance. My department also supports municipalities to adhere to legislative prescripts by having a dedicated team that avails itself in improving legal advice to municipality. Hosting intergovernmental forums with municipal legal advisors as a platform in addressing legal challenges and creating an opportunity for shared knowledge and best practices. In the new financial year, my department will continue helping improve governance within municipalities. This will be done by continuing with training programs for staff and the department of a toolkit that will enable committee members to effectively perform their functions. A personal highlight when it comes to supporting municipalities in the Western Cape is the remarkable turnaround of municipalities like Kannaland and Oudtshoorn. At the start of the 2016, these two municipalities owed service providers like Eskom many millions in old debt and were in danger of being cut off. Several interventions since then contributed to the fact that neither of these two municipalities owe Eskom or any other service provider outstanding payments. During the 2017-18 financial year, the Back to Basics program reached its third year of implementation. As part of this program, 10 municipalities in this province were assisted with customized support plans tailor-made to each municipality's needs. Municipalities which required intensive support were provided with more hands-on assistance not only from the department but also from national sectors as well as the private sector. The department monitors the progress on a monthly basis, where all implementation agents are requested to report on progress made. I am pleased to report to this House that the municipalities of Cape Agulhas has in fact already officially exited this program successfully due to the completion of most projects on the support plan. Another municipality, Swellendam, is ready to exit in the 2018-19 financial year. Agbare Deputy Speaker, dit is noodsaaklik dat inwoners betrek word by die besluitnemingsproses van hulle munisipaliteite. Die samewerking verbeter nie net die publiek se persepsie van die munisipaliteit nie, maar lei ook tot beter en meer gefokusde dienslewering wat weer mense se lewens verbeter. Die departement maak goeie vordering met die ontwikkeling van 'n kultuur van aktiewe burgerskap deur die gebruik van tegnologie waartoe mense toegang het. Die Tetanati praat met ons Talk to Us selfoon toepassing is ontwikkel en word steeds in 5 munisipaliteite getoets. Die plan is om die toepassing uit te rol na al 30 munisipaliteite in die Wes-Kaap teen die einde van die 2018-19 finansiële jaar. Gedurende die 2017-18 finansiële jaar moes die provinsie nie net 'n verlammende en verwoestende droogteramp hanteer nie. Daar was ook groot brande in Imizamayetu en in Houtbaai en by die Swartland Hospitaal. Ons was ook getref deur 'n ernstige storm wat reuse skade veroorsaak het. Een gevolg van die storm was die verwoestende brande wat uitgebreek het in Bitu en in Nysna in Junie 2017. Die skade het ingesluit 973 huise wat vernietig is en net nog 560 huise wat beskadig is. Meer as 2000 werksgeleenthede is geaffekteer. Die tuinroete herbou inisiatief is gestig om al die rampverwante aktiwiteite te koördineer. Dit sluit in aktiwiteite soos die rehabilitasie en die rekonstruksie. Die herbou inisiatief se lese van Build Back Better word deurlopend geïmplementeer. It is estimated that people living in informal settlements have on average less than 2 minutes to get out of their dwelling once a fire starts. In October 2016, my department launched a smoke alarm campaign in the province aimed at reducing deaths and injuries from home fires through the installation of smoke alarms. Together with our partners, we have already saved many lives by installing more than 8,000 smoke alarms in high-risk municipalities. I am pleased to indicate that since the installation of the smoke alarms in areas including Wallisdean, not a single fire death has occurred in areas where we installed the smoke alarm. This success attests to the impact that smoke alarms can have on saving lives in these communities, and this is one way my department seeks to make communities to be more resilient against fire hazards. And to severe weather conditions, water scarcity became a reality in this province. To this end, the Provincial State of Disaster was declared in terms of the Disaster Management Act. This required all the key players to work together in developing plans and strategies to prevent water shortages. The Western Cape government assisted drought-stricken municipalities with disaster declarations and provide support in respect of drought mitigation and water augmentation. The Provincial Integrated Drought Response Strategy focuses on 3 areas. Firstly, it supports municipalities to prevent water shortages by providing technical and financial assistance to municipalities with regards to water augmentation programs as well as water conservation and demand management. In the past year, my department appointed geohydrologists to assist municipalities with the geohydrological services and to oversee the installation of borehole data loggers to ensure the long-term sustainable abstraction of aquifers. In addition, municipalities were supported with water augmentation measures, such as the drilling and equipping of boreholes and the assisted linking to associated linking to infrastructure. Secondly, the Department Disaster Management Centre established various working streams responsible for preparedness planning to ensure that the province is ready in the event there is limited or restricted water supply. The third aspect of the plan relates to the long-term water planning to ensure resilience within the province given the impact of climate change in the future. An amount of 108 million rand was allocated towards drought relief support during the 2017-18 financial year. In addition, we assisted with conscious awareness campaigns, making use of various media platforms in our drive towards driving down the demand and thereby providing adequate time for the various water augmentation schemes to come in effect. On 13th of March, the provincial disaster was escalated and a national disaster was gazetted. Achtbare Speaker, in die afgelope jaar het die departement van plaaslike regering 98,4% van sy vorige begroting spandeer en het die departement sy 4de skoon audit agtereenvolgens ontvang. Ek wil van aan die departementshoof meneer Graham Paulse en sy hele span gelukwens en bedank vir hulle onbaatsigtige werk. Skoon audits beteken iets. Dit is 'n aanduiding vir die publiek dat al belastingbetalersgeld aangewend word volgens die reëls en voorskrifte wat in plek is. Dit is al meer belangrik in taai ekonomiese tye soos vandag waarin ons onsself bevind. Ek wil 'n oomblik neem om te herhaal wat my kollega aangeraak het, in besonder Dr. Ivan Meyer. Dr. Meyer het aangedui in sy begrotingsrede dat die nasionale regering se begrotingsdruk 'n groot impak op hierdie provinsie gehad het met groot besnoeiings. In sy begrotingsrede het Dr. Meyer byvoorbeeld aangedui dat die Wes-Kaap vanjaar 144 miljoen minder van die nasionale fiskus sal ontvang. Dit is duidelik dat Suid-Afrika agteruitboer en dat die mense wat daaronder ly, is die publiek en in besonder die mees kwesbaar tussen ons, wat afhanklik is van die uitbreiding en verbetering van die dienste. In my departement is ons ook bekommerd oor hierdie besnoeiing. Die departement het vir 'n nuwe boekjaar 253 miljoen begroting ontvang. Insluiting in hierdie begroting is die uitbreiding van die vermoë om rampe te bestuur in die provinsie insluitend brandbestryding vir 'n bedrag van 9 miljoen. 'n Bedrag van 11,2 miljoen is geallokeer om watersekuriteit en rampbestuur in reaksie op die droogte. Dan is daar ook 13,7 miljoen vir munisipale ondersteuning en in besonder die versterking van koöperatiewe beheer op munisipale vlak. Daarmee saam is 2,7 miljoen vir die toestand-program geallokeer. Honourable Deputy Speaker, I want to take this moment to reiterate the call to continue to save water in our province. We must be wary of complacency and we must seek, all of us, to adapt to long-term behaviour change when it comes to water and in general the way we live. Long-term, I am going to drive a program to seek answers to the question, how do we build resilient and sustainable cities? This will include looking at ways to prevent the dumping of sewage water in any water source, including the ocean in the future. I will include looking at waterless toilets systems, and I will look at new bylaws to assist towns and cities to become more water resilient. With those couple of words, I want to table the 2018 budget. I thank you.
The Honourable Chief Whip Wiley.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I stand here this afternoon in the stead of the Chairman of the Standing Committee, who is unfortunately in Mossel Bay fulfilling his duties both as a constituency member of Parliament and also as the chairperson of the Local Government Committee, dealing also amongst other things with disaster management. So he gives his apologies, but he would like to assure you that he does support the budget, and I'm sure that my colleague Tertius Simmers just now will do the same. He's doing disaster management because, as you know, Hermanus has been brought to a standstill in the last number of days. Hermanus has been brought to a standstill in the last couple of days. And the extent of the damage at this stage, as far as infrastructure is concerned, is a library has been burnt out, a police station has been burnt out, other municipal buildings and vehicles have been set alight, private businesses were attacked and looted, businesses closed and vandalized, RDP housing infrastructure was destroyed last night while I watched, but more importantly, it was an attack on people.
Chief Whip, just 1 second. Honourable Janchi.
Would you just please remind him that I'm speaking after him?
Honourable Member, that's not a point of order. He's well aware of that.
I thank very much the Honourable Organ Grinder's assistant. But again, the Deputy Speaker, this attack was an attack on people. People are going about their legal activities, shop owners, small shop owners, school children, homemakers, elderly people. Over 1,000 people, mainly foreigners, had to flee their homes and seek shelter in community halls where the local disaster management, and I'd like to praise Hermanus's and Overberg's disaster management for the outstanding work that they did, were hard-pressed to keep these people safe and fed. Churches, welfare NGOs were mobilized, security, private security and neighborhood watchers were deployed to cut off rampant groups of lawless anarchists. Saps from a wide radius were called in to quell the situation, and I'm pleased that they did so, and I think almost 100 people have now been arrested. And I hope that the justice process will go through and exert its fullest extent on these people. Who has done this dreadful thing in a formerly peaceful coastal town? Who is going to pay for this destruction to the municipal infrastructure? And I'd like to ask the Minister, who is going to pay from your budget for the municipal structure that has been destroyed? We don't have carry insurance, so do you budget for this sort of destruction? Because on the face of it, it would appear to be a little bit of early electioneering that is taking place. I understand that Parliament is going to go into recess now in May until August. What on earth for? Have we got an election coming up? Who is going to repair the relationships that have been harmed and estranged through this action in the last 48 hours? Who is going to rebuild the community where one group was pitted against the other? Yesterday, the coloured community had to stand in lines to try and protect the environment. The elderly had to stand behind walls to try and protect their environment. Who on earth set this thing in motion? The Minister cannot reward the lawless for their murderous and destructive intent. Let us not be fooled by who is behind these actions, which is designed to destroy government at municipal level. The EFF, without a doubt, was definitely involved. And I think, Deputy Speaker, the time has come for us to ask, where is our honourable member of the EFF, who is conspicuous by his absence in everything that this Parliament does?
Order, order.
This organisation has demonstrated itself recently to be the ultimate betrayer of the poor by trying to foster coalitions with the ANC in a defiance of what the voters have said and bringing local government into disrepute in those municipalities. For the first time, this province has got clean audits in virtually every municipality, where in 2009 we never had a single clean audit. Yes, Mr. Dianke, you can nod your head here. Factions.
Order.
Without a shred of doubt, factions of the ANC were involved, but unfortunately, they then start chasing the legitimate ANC councillors out of their houses, and they have to be sheltered. And Minister, I'd like to know, in your budget, do you have a protection?
Order.
Do you have a protection quantity to protect councillors that get chased out because of the factions of the ANC? Well, the amazing thing was, Deputy Speaker, was the stunning silence from the ANC throughout the 72 hours. Nothing from the Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Member Dugmore, who's the constituency member for the ANC in Overberg, only arrived there at 11 o'clock this morning when the peace was being negotiated.
Order.
Now peace has been negotiated. There were 5,000 people, and the residents of Zwelitsha have now said they want to have peace.
Order. Order.
They want nothing to do with this violence. But I must ask the Honourable Member Gillian, what were those trucks of agitators that came from Grabo last night? No.
Order. Order. Just 1 second, member. Order. Order. Honourable Lekker, I'm seeing Honourable Olivier.
No, Deputy Speaker, can I address you?
Is the point of order?
No, I just want to address you on the point that...
On a point of order?
It's not a point of order. Can
Then,
I address you, Speaker?
No, you can't address me if it's not a point of order.
On a point of order, then, Deputy Speaker, I think the Honourable Chief Whip, is it parliamentary to really mislead the House?
Order, member.
And maybe...
Member, you're talking now the details of the speech. That's the debating point. It's not a point of order. The member has 10 seconds left for his speech, and I want him to finish his speech.
Of his speech, yeah, maybe he should finish.
You've got a speaker. Order. Yeah. You have a speaker following him. He can rebut him. Okay. Member Wiley, you may continue.
I repeat what I said earlier, and that on the other side they don't have politicians. They just have paid employees of the ANC.
Members, time has expired. Order.
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 Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Diana.
You're not going to allow it.
Please come to order. Honourable
Deputy
Mackenzie, I
Speaker,
see
the
you.
members keeps pointing at Honourable Wiley. That's not parliamentary.
Order. Order. Honourable Diana, Honourable Konlu, please come to order now and stop pointing to members across the floor. The next speaker is on the floor. It's Honourable Janchi.
Young Speaker, maybe just before I start my speech, before I go to my speech, Honourable Deputy Speaker, I want to, on behalf of the ANC, in response.
Order. Your own members are not taking your own time, so please continue.
I just want maybe to appeal to you that perhaps let's ask, Member Wiley is very angry. He is very angry. And I'm not sure whether that's a solution to anything. Please calm down. I think that's the first thing I want to say. Please calm down. Because Member Wiley, this country was on fire for more than 40 decades. People excluded to participate in their rightful land. We went through that experience. Please calm down. I really want to start there. That's not part of my speech, but I'm responding. But secondly, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Order. Please come to order now.
Secondly, Honourable Deputy Speaker, the ANC has been very consistent throughout in making the following points. That as the ANC will respect the rights of individuals, of communities, to express themselves in terms of exercising their freedoms. We go further as the ANC very consistently that any damage to property, doesn't matter who you are, where you are, is condemned always.
Order.
And I'm going to help them. I'm going to help them because the reason Member Wiley seems to be angry, he is angry because...
Order. Honourable Gillian, you're interfering with the microphone next to you where the member is speaking. I'm talking to you now. I'm talking to you first.
Quite clearly, his anger is on property. Up to this point, he's angry about property. Doesn't care, firstly, about what is the root cause of what has happened. He has no interest in that. If there's injury, there's a loss of life, it's not his business. His business is property. So we must help you because here we're building a nation. We're building a country. This country is not going to be built by property. It's built by people who are going to use that property. The key issue, therefore, is that in whatever that we do, we must address the root causes of problems in this country and not deal with symptoms. Don't come here and be angry with symptoms as Member Wiley is doing. Let me leave that. Because now he's asking who's going to pay. Maybe the minister will tell him who's going to pay. Let me therefore, Honourable Deputy Speaker, make this following point, because it becomes so appropriate now, that the DA received overwhelming support in 2014 and 2016 elections. Let's remind you of these good moments, because they belong to you as the DA. People voted for you in 2014 and 2016 because they wanted land. They voted for you because they wanted houses. They wanted employment. They didn't vote for you because they wanted clean audit. That's not what they were queuing for. And your sweet victory in 2014 and 2016 was made possible by an increased support in the main in the colored communities. This is you. This is you've got to cherish this. It's 2014, 2016. You have this victory.
Order.
The question people are asking today.
Order, member. Just 1 second, Honourable Chief Whip.
Could the honourable member mention the budget every now and again, please?
Order. Order. Member Janchi, you may continue.
I will mention the budget. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
But speak through the chair, please.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And so, the important point is, just a year before elections, many communities out there are asking themselves, what did we vote for? Because the DA has shown its colors again. You have deprived these communities who put their trust in you across the province in many municipalities of the necessary services and development opportunities. Poor living conditions in these communities lead to increasing TB and crime. The Kailicha Commission, call it the Zille Commission, said this is the main problem. Funds meant for these areas are not spent where the need is. Honorable MEC, the City of Cape Town has seen chronic underspending on the Urban Settlement Grant, USDG, for several years now. The City of Cape Town has decided to give back 176 million back to the Treasury. It says we don't need 176 million. This is what the City of Cape Town said. Voted overwhelmingly in 2 years. Let me explain to you what they have sent back. The USDG in the metros is meant for infrastructure development, which means your sports and recreation, infrastructure for human settlements, paving of streets, bulk electricity, bulk stormwater infrastructure, bulk sewer infrastructure, wastewater treatment plants. This is what the city said. We have all of those. Take back 176 million for not spending the USDG money. Then tomorrow he's going to come and say, why are people protesting? I am helping Member Wiley. If you want people not to protest, spend the money for the vulnerable, for the poor people. The 176 million would have helped improve living conditions in Marikana and Philippi. It would have helped living conditions in the BM section in Kailicha, in Tafelsig. But it's sent back. In the glare of poverty, in the glare of homelessness, in the glare of joblessness, there's money being sent back by the City of Cape Town. Under your watch, MEC Burdell, the City of Cape Town has been allowed to inflict further wounds to the vulnerable communities who needed this money. To make things worse, the 2018-2019 budget is earmarking further reductions on infrastructure, and again the poor will suffer the most. I'm reminding you, the aim of your department, in case you've forgotten, is to monitor, coordinate, support municipalities to be effective in fulfilling their developmental mandate, and facilitate service delivery and disaster resilience through engagement with government spheres and social partners. Let me take you to your foreword in your annual performance plan, because I was so impressed with what I read there. Let me quote. In your foreword in the 2018-2019 annual performance plan, you make the following assertion, and I quote, South Africa is considered to be a water-scarce country. This implies that we must manage water resources, and if not, the demand is likely to exceed supply at some point. I completely agree with this assertion. I am with you 100%. I agree with you, MEC Bredell. In fact, I want to take your point further in agreeing with you. The issue is management and use of water. Do you agree? Whilst water is increasingly becoming a scarce resource, demand for water is also increasing. Do you agree? Do you further agree with me, therefore, that this situation requires effective leadership and governance? Do you agree? Now, in your monitoring role as MEC for local government in the Western Cape, the water crisis, especially in the city of Cape Town, has and continues to be managed very badly under your watch. We're not even far from your forward. You've raised a beautiful thing, but just live, this is what is happening. I don't know if you agree with that one. It will be very interesting. How the water crisis has been managed so far demonstrates poor leadership. I'm sure you agree with me on that. Let me demonstrate with you why I say there's poor leadership. Let me share with you, there are 7 DA0 angels. 7 DA0 angels. 7 DA0 angels. We have witnessed the following 7 people failing on this issue of water crisis. Our poor Mayor Patricia DeLille, Xanthia Limbeck, they're changing each other, that's number 2. Ian Nielsen, even usurping the powers of the mayor, running and addressing water, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. J.P. Smith, the next day becomes the one who speaks on this issue. Where is MEC Bredell? He is in the wilderness, he is quiet. MEC for local government. That's number 5. Number 6, the Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille, wakes up, I don't know from where, and she shouts disaster declaration on this issue. That's your number 6. Here's the beautiful one. Number 7. Then come Musi Maimane, who becomes a mayor and a premier at the same day. Even to indicate that day 0 must operate like this. The MEC for local government is present because what Musi Maimane is doing is interfering with the state and party issues. We have seen that in front of us. We're told of day 0. When it comes to Cape Town, day 0 changes. There's no day 0. So today we don't have a day 0 because Musi Maimane has decided conference is closer. I don't have a day 0. The drought crisis brought with it new challenges and opportunities. It already seems that we are not on top of this, MEC Bredell. Boreholes is a new challenge, and I've listened to you speaking about boreholes in your speech. The MEC and his department seem to have no clue about these things of these boreholes. I have asked them a question when they came to us. And this is the following questions I've asked when they came. How many boreholes do we have in the province? Now, a simple question, eh? You're supposed to know how many boreholes. Okay. The next question, in which areas do we have these boreholes? Then the next question, how many of these boreholes are public boreholes? Okay? Then the next question, how many of these are private boreholes? Huh? The last question, how many are legal boreholes? I don't have an answer to that, but he did speak about boreholes. You could not answer this then, MEC, and I'm sure you have an answer now. Or you might need more time to do your homework on the boreholes. I believe you when you say you're still counting. Now, this requires leadership and proper governance. To play your role as an MEC who monitors, who plays an oversight, who supports municipalities. It's happening right under your watch. Right under your watch. I'm coming to the budget now, Honorable Wiley. We have 100 million reserves, head of department, that have been earmarked by the other MEC that I'm not going to mention. The department has been allocated 100 million in reserve for the 2018-2019. But all of that is subject to the finalization of plans. So there's money available to help. But you take too long just to putting up plans. I hope now you'll be able to say we have the plans in order to utilize the 100 million so that it doesn't become another 176 million that has not been utilized and be sent back to the treasury. So I'm asking you to be consistent with your forward. Remember what you said very upfront in your forward, unless you don't believe what you said yourself. Then let's talk about corruption in municipalities. Ja, dis baie seer, daar is baie seer. Jy moet so sê. Daar is baie seer. They are increasing fraudulent.
Member Mackenzie, every time.
Exist. Or it is simply toothless. Maybe let me throw a question to you. Did the George municipality or anybody in the George municipality speak to you this week and reported the matter to you as an MEC about the corruption happening in George, about your Go George, fleet management issues in George? Did anybody speak to you? And maybe when you rise, you will respond to that. I'm coming there. The city of Cape Town, because in your speech, you had little or nothing to say about how, as an MEC for local government, you are dealing with this issue. The city of Cape Town, as we speak, I'm not going to say the Lenten thing, so don't worry. I won't say that. The city of Cape Town, besides the drought and the water crisis, it is bedeviled by corruption within the DA that is running that municipality. Things have been in the public. We did not have a word on an MEC about what is it as an MEC for local government that you are doing to stem the tide in the city of Cape Town. I won't speak about Oudtshoorn because Oudtshoorn we were held by the intervention that Cogta did to bring Kemcheti for the things to be exposed in Oudtshoorn. If there wasn't an Oudtshoorn under administration, we would not have known about that. I'm going to Knysna, don't be in a hurry. I'm going to Knysna.
Just go through the chair before you get to Knysna.
Oh, sorry. My apology, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you.
I'll go to Knysna through you, Deputy Speaker. Knysna issues, I've put them in this house. And today, as I stand here, we have no progress on those issues. ISDF and some of the fingers are pointing to you as an MEC for local government. It will be good in your response to share light on those. The next point, which I missed from your speech, is the Khoisan, the traditional bill, that you, in a very good way, you came to the standing committee and make an input about it and committed that you support the bill, which we appreciate. But you also said there are written comments that you have. I suspect now that's a DA because we don't know what is the content of those written comments that you have that have not been revealed. And the question is, do you embrace this bill and this process? And if you do, what is it that you are hiding and not sharing with us? Those written comments that you spoke about. It might be a good opportunity to share in terms of how you're embracing that going forward. Certainly the ANC does embrace that, and we support it. One appreciates your point about the Back to Basics program and the progress around that, especially as it relates to Cape Agalas and Swellendam. So I won't say much on that. The National Minister of COGTA in the last week raised alarming bells and some key concerns about a number of municipalities across the country that are dysfunctional. I had a response from the Western Cape that says we have no dysfunctional municipalities in the Western Cape. Would you confirm that we don't have dysfunctional municipalities in the Western Cape? Because we certainly do have dysfunctional municipalities in the Western Cape, and we'll point those to you. And we'll start in Cape Town, actually, and go to other areas about those dysfunctional municipalities. But I think it will be important that you share that with us. Let me come back to this issue of the clean audit again. This old song is very broken. This is the...
Remember, your time has expired, but you can finish off quickly with one sentence. Summarize that clean audit.
Okay. I'll give this summary. This is what the DA says to the citizens out there. Don't worry, we've got your votes. We'll see you in 2019. That's the DA.
Thank you. Remember, your time has expired. The Honourable Simmers.
Deputy Speaker, baie dankie. Voor ek my toespraak begin, ek wil net vir member Jantjie baie dankie sê vir ek dink 'n baie komiese toespraak. En ek gaan nou probeer op van sy punte wil ek vir hom net reg help dalk en dalk 'n bietjie meer breedvoerig vir hom duidelik ook maak. Nee, ek gaan hom lees. Ek moet sy reg om te lees. Deputy Speaker, and it's actually ironic that that our chief whip addressed the issue of Hermanus, and the ANC member actually also highlighted certain points about that. Because, Deputy Speaker, from time to time, we have to remind certain individuals that the primary responsibility of any municipality is to deliver services to its residents. This delivery must be done with integrity and in a caring and competent manner. Where the need arises, the municipality must be innovative to address or improve on this service delivery, to ensure that it is responsive to its residents. Ek is bly stem saam, ek is baie bly. Furthermore, residents must at all times hold municipalities accountable for what they're doing in the various communities. Dis kom ons amper almal munisipaliteite beheer. I highlight these points, Member Jantjie, as it's vital that everyone's informed that these are the values of the Western Cape Department of Local Government. And because these are the values of the department, it tells you that their vision of enabling well-governed municipalities to deliver services to the communities in an integrated and sustainable manner shows that they care. I therefore support the budget allocation of more than 250 million rand for the 2018-19 financial year. Deputy Speaker, staying with the caring theme for a moment, this department, through its monitoring, coordination, and support of municipalities, as my previous speaker so politely highlighted to us, are ensuring that municipalities are developed and empowered for effective service delivery, while becoming resilient in the ability to deal with and handle any disaster that might come their way. We have just observed this since yesterday. It is for this reason that we've seen a remarkable turnaround in some of the municipalities since they came under the DA's administration. Most notably would have to be the Oudtshoorn and Kannaland municipalities. Once again, highlighted by the previous speaker, who towards the end of 2017 was able to settle the Eskom debt. And no guesses, a debt that was incurred while they were under ANC administration. Just recently, the new Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, highlighted today that of all the municipalities across the country, 31% are almost dysfunctional, 31% are dysfunctional, and a further 31% is reasonably dysfunctional, and only 7% are classified as fully functional. Isn't like a schreeuwende scan as mense aan dink? Nee, ek is op haar hand, toe. One thing that was missing, Deputy Speaker, from his announcement, ironically, was the actual naming of these municipalities. The honourable members across the floor will know why the minister did not mention these municipalities, as they are fully aware of the fact that 80% of the municipalities who received clean audits are DA-led in the Western Cape. So raai aan die woord die meeste van die 7% wat hy nie die name wou noem nie. Deputy Speaker, I did not compile this report. The Auditor General did. And if my colleagues have issues with this report, then they need to take it up with the AG. Deputy Speaker, as a quick review of the previous financial year, I am pleased at how the department has responded to the drought that's plaguing our province. I'm also pleased that the department provided technical support to municipalities by appointing 4 geohydrologists, assisted them with water augmentation measures, while also supporting municipalities with water-saving awareness campaigns, and they have been very effective, to say the least. It was also welcoming to note that working streams who are responsible for preparedness planning was established, while a long-term undertaking was made that our province becomes water resilient, given the challenges with climate change that is a reality, which sadly some members present here do not wish to acknowledge exists. This department is not resting on its laurels, Deputy Speaker. On the contrary, it's proactive in addressing issues so that service delivery to residents are not affected. Deputy Speaker, let's remain with the drought. The 2018-19 budget clearly indicates that addressing it is still a priority for this department, as more than 38 million rand has been allocated for drought relief and water augmentation initiatives. Part of this allocation focuses on the combating of fires, while just over 18 million rand of this allocation is meant for support to municipalities so that they strengthen to be more effective in their municipal functions. Deputy Speaker, as the DA, we are known to govern with the people. This is why I'm also pleased to note that as part of this year's budget, the department, through the two-song program, wants to continue ensuring that more residents have access to government services. In fact, a key focus of the department will be to reach and service farm workers and other residents living in some of the remote areas in the province. Furthermore, the department will also continue to provide support to councillors in the form of training and workshops so that they are able to effectively carry out their tasks while being efficient in the fulfillment of their duties. Deputy Speaker, these interventions tell us that the DA in the Western Cape remains committed to improving the lives of all residents in this province. I must, however, highlight my concern about the budget decrease by more than 9.6 million rand for the 2018-19 financial year. When we refer to service delivery, we have to ensure that our municipalities have the necessary resources and the support to be effective. As much as I am concerned, though, I have the utmost belief in Minister Anton Bredell and his department to continue being effective in their support of municipalities, as I'm convinced that we'll now see how creative and innovative they are in supporting municipalities across this province. Deputy Speaker, the difference between a DA-led government and that of the failing ANC is that we don't allow changes. And in this case, a cut in the budget will not deter us from delivering basic services. Instead, we see these challenges as opportunities to find new, effective, and innovative ways in addressing issues. And now, Deputy Speaker, when I started, I actually thanked Member Yankee. So Deputy Speaker, every resident, including our ANC members across the floor, are enjoying the effective governance of the DA on a daily basis. So I'd like to say to the honourable members, I'd like to end off and say to the honourable members,
Order.
It is our pleasure as the DA to serve you, as you are also residents of this beautiful DA-governed province. Thank you.
Order. Please come to order before I see the Minister. Minister Bredell to respond.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Sure, yeah. Honourable Deputy Speaker, let me start off by thanking all our mayors, the speakers that attended today for their hard work and their effort to help to rebuild this country. It's not an easy task. We can shout at one another, we can differ with one another. I can tell you out there, it is not an easy and a simple task. So thank you for your compromise and your hard work on a daily basis. I also want to start off, Honourable Speaker, by really thanking my department, the officials. I actually don't have words because it's highly competent people sacrificing a lot of their personal lives to help to rebuild this province and this country. And I really want to thank you for your contribution. Mr. Graham Paulson and his whole team, and half of the team is up there. So thank you again for your contribution and helping us and always seeking to find new ways to improve ourselves and to improve service delivery. Because I think within this group we've acknowledged a long time ago already that no single one of us got the sole mandate on what is right or what is the best for this province. As a collective, we debate the issues, and in this team, yes, they do fight a lot. But it's to the betterment of the province at the end of the day. Honourable Chairperson, I don't think any one of us, daar's niemand in hierdie huis vandag wat enige vorm van geweld kan goedpraat nie. I really don't think we must enter that. I think we need to declare that people do have the right to stand up, but we don't have the right to break down. And I think we're all on that path. I need also to stress that, Honourable Wiley, thank you for stepping in for the chairperson, that we need to realise that in this difficult circumstances, especially financial constraints to rebuild the country, we can't afford to break down or to burn down. And therefore, because we don't budget for things like that, we cannot budget for it. And the thing is that when you repair it out of a budget that should have gone to other services, because we're in a building phase. So we cannot redo and rebuild a library, for instance, because there's hundreds of towns who don't have that luxury of libraries. I think when we interact with our communities, all of us must collectively take the responsibility of promoting the stance that people got the right to stand up, but not the right to break down. Otherwise, we will not rebuild this country. To Honourable Simmers, thank you very much. Thank you. Dankie my collega dat jy ingestaan het, dat jy altyd daar is en dat jy jong energie inbring met 'n eerlikheid en 'n regheidnis wat vir ons almal op ons tone hou. En ek gaan jou veral bedank in jou ander portefeulje. Jy omdat jy plaaslike regering ook baie goed ken, is jy redelik spot on. Ons is we value driven. We need to focus on our values because that will sustain all of us. The naming of the dysfunctional municipalities, I want to touch when I get to my colleague. You know, I'm the honourable Richard Yankee's campaign manager for his campaign of becoming the ANC's provincial leader. So I'm a bit worried that I spent so much time here. He must get out in the field because Duckmore's got a day on him now. But we will sit round the table, colleague. With me as your campaign leader, we will catch up with Duckmore, don't worry. So let me look at a couple of issues here. And also in his absence to the Honourable Mr. Zoli, thank you very much for your oversight role. And good luck out there, because it is difficult out in our communities currently. Honourable Yankee, the root cause of what is happening, and let's be honest with one another, what's the root cause? One thing, corruption. That's the root cause. Because if the ANC has clamped down for the last 9 years on corruption, we would have had money to invest in infrastructure, we would have had money to build houses, we would have had money to do a lot of things. But the ANC in itself was so corrupt. And colleagues, we're going to, as a country, and we need to acknowledge it, if you don't put the problem on the table, you will never fix it. I can promise you that the past 9 years, the price that this country is going to pay is going to go on for the next 20 years plus. Because you won't catch up, I can promise you that. Achtbare speaker, die 2014, natuurlijk het ons goed gedoen en die DA gaan beter doen in 2019. En ons gaan sien, want u sien, achtbare speaker, die kiezer raak al meer intelligent en die kiezers stem nie meer vir yskasbeloftes en vir huisebeloftes nie. Die kiezer in die Weskaap weet wat hy het en ons as regering in die Weskaap erken ons moet beter doen en ons sal daar kom. You've asked about crime. You ask about good governance, and you mention if people realize what they voted for, and then you mention crime. Crime is a national competency. That's why they won't vote for you, because you can't solve it. It's as simple as that. When you talk to Honourable Deputy Speaker, when the Honourable Richard Yankee talked to USDGB, and now you see this is now politicking. And that is the part that I don't like. I had it here now between all my papers. But there's Free State only spend it, the ANC.
Order.
But I'll get to the West.
Honourable Diana.
I'll get there. I just want to mention this, and this is where we get it. Luckily, I've got
members. Order. Please allow the minister to respond now.
The Free State only spent 20% of their budget. eThekwini was the worst spent metro, okay, in the country. That doesn't mean the city of Cape Town's 176 million rand that they didn't spend, we can say that's nothing. It's a problem, and we need to address it. It's a serious problem. If any council don't spend their money, it's a serious problem. But where I've got the problem with, is when a national minister in the newspapers, and that's the National Minister of Finance, go to the media and say DA Metros didn't spend 540 million. The principle, if you don't spend your money, is wrong, irrespective of it's DA or ANC. Now, why does he then just pick out the ANC, the DA? Because the ANC is so bad that he couldn't even speak to that. And that is bringing me to the dysfunctional municipalities, Honourable Yankee. When the minister announced the functional municipalities 7% and the dysfunctional and the completely dysfunctional municipalities, I've asked him, can I have the names of the municipalities? So he didn't want to tell me. So I claim that all 7% is in the Western Cape. So he can now come and prove me wrong, Honourable Yankee. And I will keep on claiming it. I will keep on claiming it till he's telling me which municipalities is not the functional ones. So, Honourable Richard Yankee, and I was very serious when I asked him that, because with this team, we can fix that municipalities. With the team we've got here, we can fix that municipalities, but I must know. So if the minister got information, but you see the problem that we've got, colleagues. We sit now with the 6th minister in 9 years. So there's no stability. There's no intelligence that's moving forward, carrying over from one minister to another. it's a complete dysfunctional municipalities and that national government. And that's why we see Salga trying to step in. That's why we see other people trying to fill that gap, because national can't fill their own gap and their own mandate. When Minister Gordhan was there, yes, I acknowledge. We went to Oudtshoorn, we stepped in, we fixed it. There's more that we can do. But the ANC national government play like, you weet, wat is die musical chairs? Hulle skuif die stoeltjies rond. En dan gaan alles tot niet op die ou einde van die dag. Die agbare Richard Jantjie het gegaan toe verder na waterbestuur. Honorable water management. Honorable Deputy Speaker, if we honest with one another, it's because of the good management of water in the city of Cape Town that we managed to pull through. Less than 15% lost on water. There's no city in this country that can come near to that. Okay? Then he touched on Musi Maimane coming in. Now, I've tried to explain this and I'm going to try and again explain it to them. Musi Maimane can't fix the water problem. He is the custodian of the DA brand. And I wish your president, Cyril Ramaphosa, will take ownership of the ANC brand and stop corruption. Then we will fix this country, if he stepped in. But no way, you hide and you run away. The day zero concept, colleagues, I can explain it to you, because it seems like they don't want to understand, I don't know, because it's a very simple concept. The day zero concept is there to protect the water resource for next year. But you see, the ANC don't think about that. That's why so many towns in this country reach it, they double zero. In other words, there's no water. In Cape Town, we won't reach day zero because of the competency of our officials and of politicians who respect that expertise and who will support them. And that's why we won't reach day zero. Yes, we do know where all the balls are. We've got, that's part of the geohydrologist. We've got a map, we've plotted it. En dit lyk soos 'n naalde kussing en ons is baie bekommerd daaroor en ons gaan dit saam met u bestuur. Maar wie gee die lisensie vir 'n boorgat? Agbare Jantjie? Agbare Jantjie. Agbare Deputy Speaker, die agbare Jantjie het my baie vrae gevra. Wie gee die lisensie vir 'n boorgat? Ja, jy het nie daai gevra nie. Ja, want dit is nasionaal. So, kom ons gaan nie daar nie. So, agbare Speaker, I'm not going to stand here the whole day. I'm just going to touch on the corruption within municipalities. Corruption doesn't matter on what level, it's wrong. I've never backed down from any challenge when it pertains to corruption. We're busy with 4 to 5 forensic investigations if we get a complaint. But I think it's wrong to use this platform to badmouth and to take all the rumors out there as if it's true. If there's anybody with his hands or her hands in the till, we will cut it off. But we will need to get to the facts. And you know it, Honourable Richard, it's difficult to get there, but we've got a team working on that, and we will not tolerate corruption in any of our municipalities. So, and on the Khoisan Bill, Honourable Deputy Speaker, we support the rights of individuals to practice their cultures, and it's my right also to say within the bill what I see is problematic. It is a problematic bill, and we will make use of the public consultation, but we will not lie to the Khoi and the San. We will not, before each election, put it on the table and after the election, forget about them. So, Honourable Speaker, met daardie paar woorde wil ek weer eens almal bedank vir hulle deelname en ek hoop dat die agbare Richard die ANC se opdrag sal ignoreer en die begroting sal ondersteun. Ek dank u.
Order. That concludes the debate on this vote. We will now suspend business for a few minutes to allow for the exchange of officials, and the bells will ring again to indicate the start of the next vote. The House is suspended.